essential. The University of Virginia and any coach that's leading the program without that hasn't had success, regardless of past history.
I mean, prior to 2019, we had it for like 15 years, and it's a big rivalry, and we got it back last year, and we plan to keep it there.
Keeping the Commonwealth Cup at home is one of the most important things that we can do at Virginia Tech, and we did it last year, and we plan to do it again.
I was like, 20-2 in the last 22 meetings versus Virginia. That's a Hokie high, and they ain't coming down from for a while. But as you look at the matchup right now, it's this Virginia team, you could argue, who is playing for a little bit more, an opportunity to go 7-5, an opportunity to start to turn around this tide. 2019 was big for them. That win got them into the championship game, but 20-2 in the last 22 meetings, going to be pretty fired up.
It's tough.
5.5 minutes away from kickoff. Coach Bronco Mendenhall, third straight bowl appearance from 2017 to 2019 at UVA. First time since 03-05. Let's get into the matchup, though, because we're this close to kick. Coach, what are you most keyed in on with this matchup with the Commonwealth Cup on the line?
Can the defense of Virginia Tech slow down the passing game? I mean, with the most prolific.
Thank you, fellas. We welcome you to ACC Network Football presented by Subway. They say Virginia is for lovers, but today we warm the heart with a little bad blood. It's the Hokies and Who's playing for the Commonwealth Cup.
Classic rivalry contest. Peoples lost the football, loose in the end zone, touchdown! Can he make one from beyond 40? On the way in, Hokies survive!
With everything at stake.
The ball came out, Virginia has it!
They waited 15 years for this.
We're in Charlottesville, Virginia at Scott Stadium. It's the 103rd meeting all time between Virginia Tech and Virginia. Tech has owned this rivalry of late, winning 16 of the last 17. Virginia did win the last time they played here in 2019. Anish Shroff standing, Mike Golick Jr. sitting. We'll hear from Kodiak, Taylor McGregor in just a moment. Virginia limps into this game. They've lost 3 in a row. The loss to Pitt really hurt last week. It cost UVA a chance at a coastal title. And Bronco Mendenhall, their head coach, telling us that was soul-crushing. That was utter despair. Recovering from that loss has been hard.
And listen, college football is a long season mentally and emotionally, but also physically. And so when you've got a week like last week, you got to look to leadership. And thankfully, they can look back at the performance from Brennan Armstrong in that game against Pitt. Injured against BYU, out against Notre Dame, but back with a vengeance. Anish, his unique ability to sling and lefty is the straw that stirs the drink in one of the most unique offenses in college football.
He has authored the most prolific passing season by a Virginia quarterback in school history. He's broken a number of records, still has a chance to break some more. And Taylor, he is the nucleus of that Virginia atom.
With him, Anish, they average just about 40 points a game, and without him against Notre Dame, they couldn't even score a touchdown. He has increased his quarterback rating by 12 points this season, and he said that's in thanks to the chemistry he has with his teammates, but also his quickness in decision-making post-snap. Coaches have praised that, saying it's his football IQ, something he really worked on this offseason, and it has become invaluable to this UVA offense.
He is closing in on Deshaun Watson's ACC record for passing yards in a season. Meanwhile, for Virginia Tech, it has been a tumultuous ride this season. They've had some gut-wrenching losses. Justin Fuente, the head coach, fired last week. Enter J.C. Price, the interim head coach. He played in this rivalry. He bleeds Hokie colors. This game means a lot to him. It means a lot for this team. You win, you're bowl eligible.
You get the opportunity to earn one more. And at this juncture, for these players, having a guy at the helm who's been in their shoes, invaluable, and has given them a lot of juice heading into kickoff.
Virginia Tech won the toss. The Hokies in the road whites elect to receive. Justin Dunkel to kick it off for Virginia. And it's Keyshawn King from the 3. And King out to about the 27-yard line. Let's see who starts at quarterback for Virginia Tech. They played 2 last week. Braxton Burmeister and Connor Blumrick in the loss to Miami. And it will be Burmeister who gets the call. He's been banged up this season, 8-7 in his career as a starter. We expect to see Blumrick as well today. We also expect the quarterback run game to be a big part of this offense.
Huge no matter who's in. Everyone thinks Blumrick going to be the battering ram, but Braxton Burmeister more than capable of threatening you on the edges with his legs.
On first down, here is Blackshear, and he picks up 11. Darius Bratton makes the tackle. Raheem Blackshear last week only had 2 carries. The first one came in the 4th quarter. And the Virginia Tech run game, which has been doing pretty well the last 4 or 5 games against a Virginia defense that is last against the run in the ACC. That's a matchup that tilts in favor of the Hokies.
And it has a large part to do with Braxton Burmeister at the helm here. Certainly the more potent passer of the 2 quarterbacks we'll see today.
Burmeister fakes the fly sweep across midfield into Virginia territory. Go back to that Miami game a week ago. Yes, a loss for Virginia Tech. The quarterbacks ran it 30 times for 184 yards.
200-plus rushing yards in 4 of their last 5 games. They understand this is where they're going to have to live, as we see the second half of that quarterback tandem in Connor Blumrick, number 4 in white, heading onto the field. Much more of the downhill between the tackles rusher of the 2 quarterbacks.
His jersey is pristine. It will not be pristine for much longer. Faking the toss to Tavion Robinson, and he finds contact right away to about the 45-yard line. Nick Jackson, the ACC's leading tackler, with the stop. Blumrick, a transfer from Texas A&M. Last week, he ran it 20 times for a career-high 132 yards.
It was remarkable, and you're going to see a lot of what we saw there. Quarterback lead sweeps here. The powers with the running back action, giving him an option on the inside here. They want to set up some big gap scheme double teams and let him get downhill.
A lot of pre-snap eye candy, and we get a penalty marker. First flag of the game.
False start. Offense number 54. 5-yard penalty. Second down. Timeout for an injured player.
Have a penalty first on Lecitus Smith, the left guard, back in the lineup for Virginia Tech after not playing last week. And the injured player for Virginia is Noah Taylor, one of their top pass rushers. We take the ACC mandated injury timeout. Virginia Tech on the move. Season 6 in Charlottesville for Bronco Mendenhall. He was telling us Sunday, Monday this past week, tough. After the Pitt loss, Tuesday things got a little bit better. He felt by Friday they had flushed most of what had happened against the Panthers. Blumrick still in there for Virginia Tech at quarterback. It's 2nd and 12. Running speed option. Now, that might have been quarterback power, Mike. It's 3rd down.
That's a full-blown quarterback sweep with a lead blocker. They make no bones about it when Connor Blumrick's in the game. He is a battering ram of a quarterback. You're going to see him on this play right here. Raheem Blackshear, the running back, as the lead blocker. And this is the game of cat and mouse now on the other side. Braxton Burmeister back in to clean things up as we get to 3rd and medium. Look here on 3rd down. They love to get crossing routes in the middle of the field, and these try and get some picks and give Braxton Burmeister an easy target for run after the catch.
Burmeister, the superior passer, and movement on the right side of that offensive line. Parker Clements, number 70.
Offside. Defense number 90. 94. 5-yard penalty for 3rd down.
They call it on the defense. It's Aaron Falmouy. So Clements drawn off sides. 3rd and long becomes 3rd and short. Burmeister exits, Blumrick back in, and it looks like the formula today is going to be the quarterback shuffle, like a WWE match, tag in, tag out.
And if you're Virginia, you know what this means. Expect linebackers downhill in the middle of this defense.
Virginia flooding the box. Blumrick stretching, he doesn't get there. No gain, it's 4th down, and you got to expect Virginia Tech to go for it.
Yep, no reason not to. Keep your foot on the gas. An outstanding job coming all the way from the backside by Nick Grant, the 6th-year senior, on the back end of that defense.
Now they're going to punt. This surprises me. You're 5-6. You need a win to become bowl eligible. Virginia hasn't exactly been Georgia defensively. Why not go for it?
I have no idea. On the other side, you're giving the ball to Brennan Armstrong, the best player in this game.
And they do kick it away. Peter Moore. Fair catch is made by Virginia. We get our first look at one of the best passing offenses in the country, and it's time for Food Lions Food for Thought.
Yep, for Virginia now going on offense, it is all eyes on the football player. Where is Keaton Thompson? Treat it like a Where's Waldo. He's going to bend the defenses. And then for Virginia Tech on the other side, you've got to change the picture. Brennan Armstrong, one of the most accomplished quarterbacks in college football. Taylor talked about his post-snap recognition. You've got to make that as hard on him as possible and try and get some quick pressure up at the line of scrimmage.
On 1st down, the give is to Wayne Taulapapa. A flag down. Taulapapa gets to about the 19-yard line, the senior from Hawaii.
Personal foul. Continuous hands to the face. Number 12 defense. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
The Clemson transfer, Jordan Williams. Mike, you played at Notre Dame. You had a lot of rivalry games. How do you keep your emotions in check? Because we've seen it earlier today. We're seeing it now. It's going to get chippy.
It is. For me, it was always the first 3rd down I had to get through a niche. You know you're going to get the other team's best bullet. Everyone's talking out there on the field early in this game here. I've got to get through that first real critical down and distance.
Armstrong to throw, and he completes downfield to Dontavian Wicks. All the way to the 39-yard line, a gain of 26. And there's more laundry, a flag at midfield.
The play made a 1st down. After the play, personal foul, number 70 for unnecessary roughness away from the ball. It's a 15-yard penalty. Virginia will keep the ball, 1st and 10.
Yeah, Bobby Haskins on that play at left tackle.
Player
and this is what
injury.
we talked about. You're taught to go out there and finish. You've been jacked up all week. You're trying to get that bad taste out of your mouth from losing out on a chance to go to the ACC title game. But you got to keep your emotions in check.
It looks like that's Nasir Peoples, Virginia Tech's leading tackler, down. We'll step aside.
ACC Network College Football is presented by the Eat Fresh Refresh at Subway.
Virginia does Thursday Heroes each week during the season. A Central Virginia resident facing health challenges is welcomed into UVA's football family. They meet with the team, tour the facilities, and usually Noah Taylor is the first to interact with the guest of honor during the celebration. Virginia ball from the 45-yard line. With Brennan Armstrong's last completion, he broke the single-season record for total offense at Virginia. He'll add to it here as he finds Dontavian Wicks. A gain of 9 for Wicks, who's got 36 yards, and he is now closing in on Herman Moore's single-season record for receiving yards.
You look all around, it's video game numbers in this offense. The only college football team at the FBS level with 5 receivers with over 500 yards. Remarkable.
There's the big tight end, Jelani Woods. And a 1st down inside the 40-yard line. It's like the old SNL skit with Christopher Walken. Every morning I wake up, I put my pants on the same way as you do, one leg at a time. except I make platinum records. They break records at Virginia here. Jelani Woods is closing in on Heath Miller's record for touchdown receptions. Wicks is chasing records. Armstrong is chasing records.
Keaton Thompson chasing a 1,000-yard receiving season.
Back to the outside, a first down. It's Malachi Fields. The big 6'4" freshman, his 11th catch of the season, a gain of 18 more.
And this is the complicated part for Virginia Tech on defense. What do? Do you try and attack and assert your dominance on here, knowing that the offense on the other side is designed to give you a different formational look almost each and every play, making it difficult to cue in on any one of these talented weapons they've got?
Keaton Thompson lined up in the slot. And another flag.
False start. Offense, number 99. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And that is Keaton Thompson right there. The quarterback converted into that football player role listed on their depth chart. And you're going to watch, Anish. Almost every defense they go against is trying to find out, as 99 lines up in the backfield on this play, where is he and what matchup are they trying to create for him because of that?
Where is he? What is he? He's a football player. There's Woods. Robert and I, Virginia's offensive coordinator, said, we've got Keaton Thompson, we've got Dontavian Wicks. The guy the defenses have really zeroed in on, number 0, Jelani Woods.
They don't make a lot of 6'7", 265-pound bodies. For coordinators, you're often looking at who can physically give me the most problems, whether it's with speed or size. Jelani Woods, certainly the latter.
Armstrong gets rid of it quickly, and it's caught by Thompson. You mentioned the prowess of this passing game and the 4 receivers with 500-plus yards. If Thompson gets to 1,000, he needs 101 today. That would give Virginia 2,000-yard receivers this season. They only had 2,000-yard receivers in school history prior to Bronco Mendenhall coming to Charlottesville.
And just the variety of ways you can get him the ball, the Texas route coming out of the backfield, as we see Billy Kemp with flags down on the field.
A flag is down. Kemp has been their short yardage guy. It's coming back.
During the run, holding, number 21, offense. 10-yard penalty. So first down.
The running back, Taulapapa. 4 penalties already on Virginia. And here we are with 7:10 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, but the big playability for this offense, and you're going to see right here, getting out on the perimeter, reaching on the outside. An easy call for the official when you see that jersey tug. But the big playability of this Virginia offense has made a lot of these penalties very easy to overcome. You almost get more space now because you're backed up for this passing attack to operate instead of shrinking the windows.
So first and goal now at the 19-yard line. Armstrong rolls to his left. The southpaw eluding the pursuit. And takes a big hit inside the 15-yard line. He gets 7. Remember, he injured his ribs against BYU. Did not play against Notre Dame. Went 2.5 weeks without throwing. And he's wearing a flak jacket for the 2nd straight game.
And clearly not thinking about it, which is such an important part of this, Anish. So much of recovering from injuries like that is mental, especially at a position like quarterback, where you are vulnerable at times to some of those shots. Fearless look early in the game, a great sign for Virginia.
2nd and goal now from the 11. Armstrong's got time. Wants 6. Incomplete for Wicks. It looked like Dax Hollifield had grabbed his jersey, but no call.
Yeah, got away with a little action there. Dax Hollifield, who is the heart and soul of that Virginia Tech defense, and who is a guy they're comfortable dropping back into the middle of the field for coverage. Him versus Dontavian Wicks, not exactly what you draw up as a defensive coordinator, but you'll see 4 coming right into the middle of the screen in white, getting just a little tug, but no call.
He got away with one. It's 3rd and goal. Armstrong checks down to Woods. He juggles it, catches it, and finds his way into the end zone. 8th receiving touchdown of the season for Jelani Woods. And the transfer from Oklahoma State is now 1 touchdown catch away from tying Heath Miller's single-season school record.
And there's no one here for him again. Keaton Thompson and Wicks clearing out all this space. No one's there with Jelani. And then you see on the back end of that, Dorian Strong wanted no part of contact with all 6'7", 265 pounds of Jelani Woods.
The PAT is good. You watch Woods. He's the human truck stick. And now the officials have to clean things up again. There's another flag down. That's been that kind of game early.
A lot of extracurriculars. You're going to see the officials really try and pump the brakes on this early. As we've seen the stadium fill up here, the Commonwealth Cup, no matter what's happened in these seasons leading up.
Result of the play is good. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 1 of the receiving team. That penalty would be administered 15 yards on the succeeding kickoff. That's number 1's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul.
Now that's Chamari Connor. A lot of penalties in the early going. Virginia's offense, though, came out firing.
Tons of big, beautiful pieces at work, and Jelani Jank Woods finds his way into the end zone. 7-0.
7-0 Virginia after a 10-play, 87-yard drive. Justin Dunkel will send it away. Keyshawn King back deep for Virginia Tech. Down to Taylor.
Because of a missed tackle by Virginia Tech. J.C. Price coming to his defense directly after that score. Put it simply, you guys have to tackle if we want to win this game.
He was the D-line coach before being promoted to interim head coach. First year on staff after coming over from Marshall. Of course, he played at Virginia Tech, and you can see that was a very half-hearted attempt at a tackle.
You had 2 guys at the point of attack, and you see Dorian Strong give him the Olay there. That's an effort thing. That's a message you send to the rest of your team regardless of the outcome.
Burmeister will come out to start the series at quarterback for Virginia Tech. On first down, it's Raheem Blackshear. Tunnels across the 30 to the 31, a gain of 6. Blackshear, the team's leading rusher, as we said, did not get a lot of work against Miami. There was not an injury issue, and he was coming off a big game against Duke where he was the reigning ACC rusher of the week prior to last week.
It's been an amazing job of putting this rushing attack together by committee. Brock Hoffman and Lycida Smith back at center and left guard respectively in this lineup. Huge parts of that push in the middle as well.
Burmeister completes, and he's got a first down for Virginia Tech. Dwayne Lofton with a gain of 7.
Timeout.
True freshman.
Player injury.
Another player down. It is Lycida Smith, who did not play last week against Miami, and he was questionable coming into today. We remind you, following our game, our ACC Network primetime affair takes us to Salt City. Number 17, Pittsburgh. Panthers will take on Syracuse. Pitt won the Coastal. Wake won the Atlantic today, so that is your ACC championship game matchup in Charlotte next week. We also get to see 2 of the front runners for ACC Player of the Year. I think it's Kenny Pickett's award to lose. Sean Tucker set the Syracuse single-season rushing record this year, breaking Joe Morris's mark.
And Sean Tucker not being a Doak Walker finalist, one of the great crimes of the postseason awards.
Burmeister downfield to Robinson. Touchdown, Virginia Tech. Trading haymakers early on.
This Virginia defense has struggled mightily all year long. You see the play action sell and Burmeister's ability to move the pocket on this play. But then it's just separation on the back end. This is Tavion Robinson. My better is better than your better. And this is why, Anish, I think for the majority of the game, it should be a lot more Burmeister. He gives you that extra added advantage you're going to need to go score for score.
PAT by John Parker Romo is good.
And this is when Braxton Burmeister is at his best as we take a look at this touchdown, Anish, is when you can get these sort of half rolls in the pocket that get the defense to drift. You're going to see Tavion Robinson in the slot right here up top, and it's just a deep post. But again, when you're able to pull guys up front, move the line of scrimmage, you get the pulling guard, it holds the eyes, and then you get an underneath route to pull everyone away and get one-on-one with one of the best receivers in your receiving group.
5th receiving touchdown of the season for Tavion Robinson, dubbed Sweet Feet. And I think there may be an early lesson here for interim head coach J.C. Price. Go back to that first drive, 4th down and short, in plus territory. They elect to punt. Points are going to be scored today. I would expect both teams to be aggressive. You get across the 50, you probably start to treat it as 4-down territory.
Absolutely. It's got to be all risk it for the biscuit, to go to a Bruce Ariansism there. I know he's leaned on Frank Beamer, his former head coach, for advice here, saying don't go out here and lose the games, but at some point, especially when you're the underdog like this, you got to go and take moments like that at critical junctures.
He said he's leaned on Frank Beamer a lot the last 2 weeks. Of course, Price played for Frank Beamer in the 90s. Virginia will take it out to the 25-yard line. ACC standings, of course, the usual dose of Coastal chaos, but less than years past. Pitt at 6-1, winning the Coastal. Wake Forest wins the Atlantic. NC State had the thrilling win against UNC last night, so Wake needed to win today to lock up the division. And for the first time in a long time, more than a decade, it will be someone other than Clemson or Florida State that wins the league.
Give a ton of credit to Dabo Swinney and that squad, though. Weren't mathematically eliminated until the day. They fought hard during a very tumultuous season.
Armstrong throws it away. 7 of 9 so far.
So for Virginia Tech on defense, again, the balance here when you're going against someone like Brennan Armstrong, who when you talk to their coaches, Robert Anae, their offensive coordinator, his best efforts are post-snap here, reacting in real time to the defense. I think you've really got to hold and be disciplined, change the picture on that back end, rotating safeties, and send quick pressure near the line of scrimmage.
Armstrong pass caught by Thompson. First down, Virginia. And with that catch, Keaton Thompson now has 17 yards, 84 more to get to 1,000.
Just such big, strong targets at the point of attack. We talked about this with Jelani Woods before. Zone coverage. Brennan Armstrong is deadly this season. 3rd best QBR in football against zone. So you go man there and try and stick with it. And you got guys that can box you out like hoops players.
Thompson in motion. That goes as a pass in the scorebook. Trying to reverse directions, and he's tackled in the backfield. A loss of a yard as we check in with Taylor.
Brennan Armstrong really keying in on the chemistry between him and his receivers this season. He spent so much time in the offseason really just studying the moves of every single guy. He goes, I want to know what they're going to do pre-snap and be able to read it quickly.
Here's Woods, who had the touchdown for Virginia. He's a human truck stick. Give him a dozen. Another first down. He's been the go-to target early for UVA.
Just so strong there. You saw Tay Daly. Almost nothing he could do. Goes for the arm tackle, and you're just not going to get him down with any less than 100%.
4 catches, 40 yards for Woods. Wounded duck. It was tipped. It falls incomplete. Well, the size is the first thing that jumps out at you. 6'7", lining up at tight end. He seems to seek out contact. He's like Gibraltar on wheels.
He's remarkable here as we look at his counterpart in Keaton Thompson, who also 6'4", 210, a big body in his own right. But Woods, it's just, again, such a difficult size mismatch.
Could be a free play. It is. Armstrong takes a shot downfield. It's caught, but out of bounds. Wanted Rashawn Henry, Dorian Strong in coverage. Virginia Tech was offsides.
Offside. Defense, number 45. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
And you see him just have to double clutch on it at the end there. Had the foot down with the hands. But I think, Anish, you still saw him have to go back one more time without control.
Yeah, the crowd doesn't like the call, but he never controlled it with a foot inbounds.
No, they're seeing that first bobble and recorrect, but there was a second juggle of the ball.
Hey, the home crowd's going to want it, especially in a rivalry game. Mike Hollins, the running back, on 2nd and 5. And now it appears they will look at it.
Yeah, they're going to take a look at this, but ultimately I think that's going to remain incomplete.
Virginia wishes to challenge the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
They look at every play upstairs. Bronco Mendenhall wants them to take a closer look, so he uses the timeout. If the play is reversed, you get the timeout back. But from what we saw, you have to possess it clearly. And again, he does not have possession, still doesn't have possession until he comes down out of bounds. To me, this is going to be a quick and easy review. The call on the field should be confirmed.
Yep, and the right idea. Brennan Armstrong knows we got him to jump. We used the cadence to our advantage. You take a shot. And Henry does his best to make an acrobatic play to get the foot down in time. But a great contest on the back end by Dorian Strong, who we talked about turning down some work on the tackle for the touchdown here, this time getting his hands up at the top of that catch.
It's amazing what this program has been able to do offensively the last 6 years. You think about Virginia before Bronco came to town. They had never had a 3,000-yard passer in a single season. Well, Brennan Armstrong went north of 4,000 last week. Armstrong this year. Touchdown
After further
pass.
review, the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass is confirmed. Virginia's charged with a timeout.
So to run through some of the superlatives for Armstrong, a touchdown pass in 17 straight games. Single season record for pass yards in 9 games. He's thrown for 300 yards 9 times, 400 5 times. He owns 6 of the 8 highest single game passing totals for Virginia, and all 6 have come this season.
It's been incredible.
And we could keep going.
We could. We're running out of things to say about him. But for the rest of this group, a ton of confidence as we see a tight bunch near the bottom of this formation. You've almost got a battering ram in front of the wide receiver.
And they run it to Hollins right up the middle. It sets up 3rd down and 1. 4-down territory, and now a tornado of options for Bronco Mendenhall.
This is where they get real creative. You've seen full house backfields, creative action to try and get Keaton Thompson rushing attempts. As we see another one of those football players head onto the field right now. And for the defense, you're always looking at personnel going, what does this mean? What kind of special formation are we getting? Your eyes can go everywhere.
Jacob Rodriguez in motion. Hollins up the gut. Sheds a tackler. 1st down, a gain of 9. Wilfred Penay with the stop. If you're the defense, where are your eyes going?
What you see right here going downhill, this is a great job of the offensive line, hat on a hat, moving people at the point of attack here. They're good reads across the board, but then you've got to win your one-on-one matchup with all the icon candy you see Nasir Peoples running back there.
Armstrong steps up to avoid the pressure, finds Wicks downfield. He's upended by Daly. He picks up 19, and with that catch, Dontavian Wicks breaks Herman Moore's 31-year-old school record for receiving yards in a season.
How about the help there by Mike Hollins, the running back, to keep the pocket clean, and then Wicks taking the hit on the other end. Every part of this offense doing their job as we see Wicks, walking off the field a little gingerly.
Our statistician, Paul Newman, our graphics producer, Chad Fisher, they're busy today trying to keep up with all these records. Armstrong under pressure. Finds the Northwest Passage. Inside the 10, down to the 4-yard line. It looked like there was nothing there, and he found the crevice in that labyrinth.
That was a video game glitch. Virginia Tech decided, all right, we're tired of letting you sit back there with all the time in the world. We're going to go ahead and heat you up. That was Tom Brady-esque. Close your eyes, put your head down, and hope something good happens on the other end of that.
He moved a little better than number 12, though.
You saw that first down Tom had this last week.
That's true.
Don't let him fool you. 44 years old, getting more wiggle.
2 backs, 10th play of the drive. It's that diet.
Pliability.
Hollins, the sophomore from Baton Rouge, down to the 1. Armstrong wants to go quickly.
You speed this up with all the formation versatility. Again, having all these big bodies that can do multiple things. Crowding it with this sugar huddle right here. Now the defense has to adjust quickly pre-snap to where your personnel aligned.
Armstrong running behind Hollins. Touchdown, Virginia.
Anish, we talk about all the bells and whistles on this play here. You're going to watch basically student body right. 85 Grant Mish comes across the formation, a lead blocker. 2 backs in the backfield in front of Armstrong. You buy 3 hats on the other side of this with your quarterback as a runner and pile drive into the end zone.
PAT by Farrell is good. On its opening drive, Virginia marched 10 plays, 87 yards for a touchdown. 11 plays, 75 yards. This time, Brennan Armstrong does it on the ground.
Again, just all you got to keep advantage of. All right, you got a guy in motion at the snap here. 2 backs in the backfield. They time it up perfectly so that 85 Mish, the motion man, gets over there to cut off. And then look at the wall up front. This is just beautiful execution across the board. Mike Hollins, number 7, throwing his body around that whole drive. There's a selfless aspect to this offense, Anish, because everyone knows you're going to get the football. And when you've got a guy like Armstrong who spreads the wealth so evenly, it makes it a lot easier to go out and do the dirty work the way so many of these guys are willing to.
Robert Anai and Bronco Mendenhall both told us Armstrong is the connective tissue. He holds it all together. You heard Taylor talk about it in the open. When he didn't play against Notre Dame, Virginia managed 3 points. It is a different team with number 5 as the trigger man.
You've seen all around college football this year, right? You look at Matt Corral and the way he operates Lane Kiffin's offense at Ole Miss. You look at Hendon Hooker, a player that everyone knows well around here, and what he's done in Josh Heupel's scheme at Tennessee. When you've got a competent signal caller like this in college football, unlimited possibility.
Virginia Tech brings it out to the 25-yard line, and we remind you, The Huddle gets you set for championship Saturday next week with a 2-hour pregame show from Charlotte. It kicks off at 6 Eastern, and then after the game, head back to ACCN for a complete game breakdown with coach and player interviews. Pitt and Wake Forest in the ACC title game. Did you have that preseason?
I would like to take credit for it, Anish, and say I'm that great of an analyst.
I gave you a chance to lie. Blumrick in at quarterback. And he hammerheads right into the teeth of that defense, only a yard. Burmeister threw the touchdown pass on the last drive. On the opening drive, we saw both quarterbacks for Virginia Tech rotate in. Do you like that system, or do you think at some point Virginia Tech will ride with a hot hand?
I think you really have to stick with Burmeister until he shows you can't be the guy. You see him warming up that arm in there. If there's something on the injury front, then you adjust with that. But I think he gives you too many good options, both as a runner as a passer.
Burmeister will keep it. He's got an opening. Across the 40, it's a foot race. Can they get the quarterback? Burmeister all the way inside the 10. Darius Bratton saved a touchdown. Quarterback run is going to be a big part of this offense, as it was last week. Burmeister rips one off for 70, his longest run of the season.
What a note to end the first quarter on for Virginia Tech. Braxton Burmeister says, all right, you want a dose of rushing at quarterback here? Get me on the perimeter and watch me work the zone read for 3 and white for a big gain to put Virginia Tech in a 1st and goal situation, down 14-7 when we come back.
After the longest run of Braxton Burmeister's season and career, a 70-yard gain, Virginia Tech has a 1st and goal at the UVA 3. A rivalry that's been dominated by the Hokies over the past 2 decades. Burmeister hands it off, Blackshear. No gain. Virginia Tech had some issues running the ball early in the season. The last 5 games, averaging 5.5 yards per carry, almost 240 yards per game on the ground, and facing a Virginia defense that has struggled against the run pretty much all season.
And now they bring in the battering ram, Connor Blumlick. I like this situationally for him. Short yardage, goal line situations.
Blumrick up the middle, stretching. Is he in? No. 3rd and goal. Blumrick returned to action last week after suffering a knee injury in week 6 against Notre Dame. He threw the ball last week. We haven't really seen much of that prior from Blumrick, but his bread and butter is the power run.
And I don't want you to get cute right here. Line him up here, get some double teams, maybe get a puller out in front of him, throw that running back lead block and let your quarterback score.
Up the middle, nothing there from Malachi Thomas, the true freshman. 4th and goal. J.C. Price opted to punt on his first drive in plus territory. He's not kicking a field goal here. You go for it. The tenor of this game is evident. Whoever has the ball last may end up winning.
Field goals aren't going to win you a darn thing. Virginia Tech 6 touchdowns in their last 8 red zone trips. This is supposed to be your identity. As this Virginia crowd's going to try and will on their defense for one more stop.
Blumrick, bootleg, looking for Thomas, he can't bring it in, or rather Blackshear. He had his running back, Raheem Blackshear, open in the flat. The throw a little offline, and Blackshear could not bring it in. A turnover on downs.
Yeah, Blumrick is just not comfortable as a passer yet. You see it in plenty of easy situations. Right here, he's caught between worlds. He wants to go and plow in front there, but he tries to put too much touch and place that football.
A little more loft, and it probably gets the job done.
Put it right on him, but again, that was indecision for him. You saw him pressing up there, wanting to run and realizing, I need to throw this because he's open. That's just a lack of reps.
So now Virginia backed up, looking for some breathing room, and they're not going to get much. Devin Darrington, the grad transfer from Harvard, who got a degree from Cambridge in government back in May. No gain, 2nd down. Virginia from its own 1-yard line. Now defensively for Virginia Tech, you can change the game here a little bit. Virginia probably has to be more conservative, so what can Virginia Tech do here?
Sell out. Keyshawn Artis at linebacker is a guy they love to unwrap and blitz off the edge. You got to throw bodies at Brennan Armstrong backed up.
Armstrong from his own end zone. Incomplete. Wanted Keaton Thompson. It's 3rd down.
Third down. As we see them get some different personnel on the field here.
Now, one guy we have not seen today for Virginia Tech is Jermaine Waller, their top cornerback. He didn't play well last week. He's been nursing an ankle injury. We have not seen him.
I'd look for Dontavian Wicks. 23 targets on 3rd down this year for Virginia. By far, their most often sought after target in these critical downs and distances.
Play clock was down to 2. Armstrong's throw for Kemp. He's able to make the catch and move the chains for the Hoos. Wow.
Talk about trusting your quarterback. In the shadow of his own end zone, 3rd and 10, and then the extension here taps the toe down. That's an outstanding bit of body control from Billy Kemp, who quite honestly could have had a flag thrown on Dorian Strong for grabbing some cloth there.
Kemp 4th all-time in receptions at Virginia. Cavaliers have scored on both drives. There's Kemp again. And forward progress gets him the 16-yard line. Dorian Strong stood him up.
And we've seen now, going back to that touchdown, the 3rd down play we just saw there. Even though Jermaine Waller's not been out on the field, they've gone at the freshman Dorian Strong on the other side on multiple critical junctures here. A matchup they clearly like for this group of productive wideouts.
Taulapapa motions out. Armstrong slings it to his running back. Broken tackle. And Taulapapa fighting for those extra yards, a pickup of 8. He makes the line to gain. And again, more extracurriculars near that Virginia sideline. We were watching Ohio State, Michigan before we came on the air, and boy, it seemed the officials had to take control of that game too. That's the beauty of rivalry week. Emotions run high. You look at the bulletin board at the start of the season and all the goals are there, right? Win your division, win the week. Win your rival is on there right from week 0.
Anish, I sat in the hotel the night before we played USC in 2012. We were undefeated. We knew it was a playing game for the national championship, the BCS title at the time. I looked at my dad and said, you come to Notre Dame to win this game every year. We did, and it was sweet all on its own. These are different, and it's what makes college football so great.
Armstrong rolling out. And out of bounds at the 30-yard line, a gain of 6. Taylor.
The message to this Virginia Tech defensive line, Bill Tierlich saying there is no other way than to get to the quarterback. They feel like Armstrong is slipping tackles, and they really want them to crowd him to try to slow him down.
Last week against Miami, Virginia Tech did not get a sack. They've been pretty good against the pass this year, although last week was the first time they gave up 300-plus yards on the ground, as Taulapapa able to pick up another first down. Senior captain from the North Shore of Hawaii. Went to Punahou High School. That is the alma mater of former President Obama, Michelle Wie, and your good buddy and former teammate Manti Te'o.
Manti Te'o and Robbie Toma, both members of the 2012 team. With myself here, both proud alums of that high school. We get to hear all about it. I learned more about Hawaii in those 4 years than any time in my life.
Sure you heard about other things too. Armstrong off his back foot, high throw. It's brought in by Kemp. A yard shy of the marker. Brennan Armstrong, 15 out of 19 so far.
We talked about the post-snap recognition. You saw Chamari Connor in the backfield there, caught in no man's land on this pressure. I think they're going to make Virginia Tech rethink a lot of these edge pressures. We've seen them coming from the perimeter. It's going to have to be more of Alan Tisdale in the middle, more of Keyshawn Artis in the middle, because the edge right now, Brennan Armstrong's just seeing and delivering too well.
They'll set up the screen. Taulapapa again. Into the open field across the 40 of Tech. 17 more, another first down. Virginia has scored on every drive so far. A 10-play drive, an 11-play drive, and now the 10th play of this drive coming up. Armstrong closing in on 200 yards passing, and here we are with 9 minutes to go in the first half.
And this is a great opportunity to take a shot deep now that they're worried about all the stuff underneath. You see lighter personnel, 3 wide receiver bodies on the field now.
Yeah, that would be Wicks, who's been their big play guy. Intercepted, picked off by Tech. Tate Daly, the Vanderbilt transfer. And the Hokies seize back some of the momentum.
We talked about having to get creative with the way that you would go after Brennan Armstrong. A great job of zone blitzing right here. You got a D-line coach as your interim head coach right now. And so what do? You drop Wilfred Panay into coverage here. Watch number 91, the defensive tackle right here. They're going to bring Dax Hollifield behind him and then drop 91 into coverage. And so what's that do? It clouds the judgment, makes him throw the ball a little bit behind, and now you set up for a great interception.
4th career interception for Daly. Burmeister in at quarterback. Play action. And he'll run out of bounds across midfield. We get a penalty marker. No flag on the play.
Surprised there wasn't. Contact out of bounds with the quarterback at any level
Yeah,
is
that was
usually the one.
Nick Jackson, leading tackler in the ACC, number 6 for Virginia. Now you look at how this game swings. We know Virginia can throw on anybody, but Virginia defensively has been well below average this season. Virginia Tech can run the ball. They've shown they can run the ball on this defense.
Got a player down on the knee in the huddle right now, one of the offensive linemen.
Caden Moore, the true freshman. We've got to take the timeout. 2nd and 6, Virginia Tech on the other side. (14-7), Virginia Tech with the ball just inside midfield after a turnover. The Hokies are looking to become bowl eligible with a win today. It's a rivalry game. They're playing for more than that. If they lose and do not go to a bowl, it would be back-to-back years without a bowl game for Virginia Tech for the first time since 91-92. The Hokies' first 2 seasons in the Big East. Short gain by Blackshear. It sets up 3rd down. And it's interesting, you go back to 91 and 92. Frank Beamer, year 5, year 6. Beamer was 24-40 after 6 years. Starting 93, Virginia Tech turned into a machine and a monster.
It shows you how much the landscape of college football has changed. As the money's gone up, as the eyes have gone up, the decision-making has come faster and faster.
Laundry.
I believe that's Johnny Jordan in at left guard. We talked about Lacita Smith, who was back in the lineup after being banged up. We saw him go off earlier. And so this offensive line that struggled to have continuity, as we look at the records right now, 4 bowl appearances for Coach Fuente, and yet the decision's still made.
19 more wins than Beamer through the first 6 seasons. Not apples to apples. There's a lot of context that you have to apply. Burmeister, downfield, it's caught! Inside the Virginia 20, Dwayne Lofton. He had his first career touchdown last week. A true freshman out of Texas picks up 35.
Ran an 11.48 100 meters in high school, and you saw it on display here. Attacking the seam in the back of that defense. You got one high safety in there. A great ball by Braxton Burmeister, setting him up in the red zone now. And again, let 3 and White continue to go out here. He can use the zone read. He can get on the edge of this defense. There's no need to start mixing up the bag at quarterback yet.
Burmeister stays in. Blackshear, the running back. Burmeister moves the pocket. Chased by Taylor and throws it away. Now you go back to that last graphic we showed you, right? We talked to Bronco Mendenhall about all the coaching changes that you see, and Justin Fuente, a colleague of his, yes, a rival, but he said Bronco did with the big money that's tossed around, your window to win is smaller. And the reality is the program that Justin Fuente inherited was a much different program with much different expectations than what Frank Beamer inherited.
Yeah, now you were the Virginia Tech that Frank Beamer built. You were the lunch paper mentality. And so it changes the way everyone around here with Babcock and company made decisions.
A big opening. Blackshear, touchdown. Tech a PAT from tying this game.
Anish, when you've struggled the way Virginia has, you got to take gambles. And you're going to see right here, levels by the linebackers. They're going to do a cross dog blitz in the middle. And then you're going to see Nick Jackson play behind there. You get Blackshear up to the second level against King, and he's able to make one guy miss.
John Parker Romo ties it at 14. For Bronco Mendenhall, he said past isn't prologue. Oh, Virginia Tech knows the prologue. They've won 20 of the last 22 in this series, and they're even at 14 apiece. '19, the Commonwealth Clash. Virginia's Bryce Perkins, 311 through the air, 164 on the ground, 3 touchdowns. Virginia Tech had Hendon Hooker finding Trey Turner for a touchdown. This was a close game late. Back and forth in the fourth quarter. Virginia prevailed 39-30, snapping at the time a 15-game losing streak to its rival.
Huge for so many of these guys to see the ball go through the basket, so to speak. You need that first group to break through, and so now Brennan Armstrong and company get to try and build on what Bryce Perkins and that team built.
Virginia will have it at the 25 after the fair catch by Kemp. You get the sense this comes down to who can play enough defense, and we saw Virginia Tech on that last series. They made a play defensively with the pick.
It's about stealing possessions like that. Coming into this game, being able to get your offense one more look at it, winning the turnover battle. We know it's one of the biggest cliches in football, but especially in a game like this where the offenses appear ready to shred whatever's in front of them.
Armstrong, 16 of 21, has a wide open Keaton Thompson. Make it 17 out of 22, and 22 yards on the play. 200-plus pass yards in the first half for Armstrong, who has a chance to go over 400 yards again.
These backs do such a good job of pass protecting on the other side. And then for Thompson, what are you going to do? You're going to put a safety on him because of that size? You're going to put a corner matched up with him that he's going to be able to body?
Armstrong, a crafty delay, and that is Darrington for 8 yards, the Harvard transfer. How do you keep eye discipline as a defense against this kind of offense?
It's just reminding, before the play, you've got one responsibility. You've got your key. As
we have another player down. It's Norrell Pollard, and they'll make us take a commercial break. 5:12 to go, opening half.
ESPN, home of the College Football Playoff Semifinals. Friday, December 31st on ESPN.
Run it. We will sort through the wreckage of the final playoff rankings next weekend. A lot of rivalry games, a lot to be played for this weekend. Virginia on second down, taking a shot downfield. It's Wicks who brings it in. Now he dropped it at the end, so 3rd down and 3. Couldn't quite hold on. He's been their big play guy, 21 yards per catch this year.
Breon Murray, an outstanding job on the back end, man-to-man the whole way, and he sees the hand goes up and he reaches up at that point, doesn't run into him. That's great eye discipline, understanding I got to wait for the receiver's hands to go up. Let me know when the ball's coming.
3rd down, pressure coming. Thompson, 1st down to the 30. Keaton Thompson, Da Vinci, and cleats for this offense.
Another one, making him pay on the blitz. Look on the left side here. You've got Dax Hollifield, and then 17, Tay Daly coming. What does he do? Throws right where the blitz came from, replaces it in that spot. Those post-snap reads Taylor talked about off the top of the broadcast.
Free play. Armstrong heaves it down into the end zone. Incomplete for Wicks.
Great job on the free play. Boy, is Wicks going to want that one back right through his
Offside.
hands.
Defense number 12, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
As Jordan Williams again. What a ball on the run. Little Aaron Rodgers-esque, understanding exactly what he had here. And then the usually sure-handed Wicks.
Screen. Kemp. First and goal, Virginia.
That's a couple of times now they've been able to use the screen game to their advantage. An outstanding job by the right guard, number 69, Chris Glazer. Getting out here in space. Getting on Keyshawn Artis and getting them in a first and goal situation here where again now you see some of these big bodies in the backfield. 85 Grant Mish lined up at that running back spot here. Got to watch out for some QB1. Remember, Brennan Armstrong also mobile.
Armstrong fakes it to Woods. He'll run. Absorbs the hit, breaks the tackle, and scores! Nasir Peoples is down after he got absolutely amtracked by Brennan Armstrong.
We thought he was setting up for the design run. Instead, the scramble, a great job in protection against the four-man rush by the line. And then Armstrong has that clock in his head that goes off and delivers the hit. He's got 3 Virginia Tech defenders coming against him, and he lowers the boom. That's an outstanding tone setter. You want to talk about firing up a sideline and a crowd? You're all-everything quarterback putting his body on the line like that?
The same quarterback who returned to action last week after missing a game due to a rib injury.
Wearing a flak jacket, we talked about all these precautionary measures. But so much of this game becomes mental. Your ability to stand back there knowing you could get hit, and your ability to say, hey, we're here to win the Commonwealth Cup. This is a rivalry game that matters. Those are the kind of effort plays you need.
He went 2.5 weeks without throwing, was shut down as recently as last Tuesday. It hurt when he coughed at a point last week. PAT is good. Armstrong had been opposed to wearing a flak jacket, but warred against Pitt. Threw for 480-plus yards. He said, I'm going to continue to wear it. Coming up on the State Farm halftime report, a first half recap, a lot of fireworks to sort through. We'll get you set for the ACC Championship. Pitt out of the Coastal, Wake out of the Atlantic, and highlights from around the ACC, including, I'm sure, the wild finish last night between UNC and NC State.
Just show the final 2 minutes and 11 seconds so I can feel alive again.
Atlantic Anarchy met Coastal Chaos last night in those 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Time for our marathon drive recap.
Big time plays from Keaton Thompson at critical junctures on this drive. They're all everything football player, the move guy on this defense before Billy Kemp sets them up on the screen down near the goal line. And then what more can we say? We've run out of superlatives about Brennan Armstrong. Let's throw a little grit over the top. Yeah, quarterbacks are supposed to slide. Sometimes they're supposed to hit.
A short gain on first down for Virginia Tech. That's Tavion Robinson. The Hokies have found success on the ground. Almost 140 rush yards in this first half. And then they've hit some big plays downfield with Burmeister at quarterback.
And I think that's going to be the key here. Burmeister has earned the right today to be the quarterback from here on out in this game. I think we should see pretty much all 3 outside of some critical situations from here on out.
Burmeister dancing in the pocket, and he throws too high for Caleb Smith.
And so now if you're Virginia's defense, critical third down here. You already had the goal line stop. This game is going to be about each defense being able to steal a possession here or there. And for Virginia, 2 timeouts left, 2:42 in the game. Could be a crucial chance to give your offense back the ball and make this a 2-score game before halftime.
Virginia also receives to begin the third quarter.
Control that middle 8. We hear it all the time from the Belichick coaching tree. Send pressure. Make him earn it.
Pressure coming. Burmeister devoured. West Weeks, the freshman. He played well last week against Pitt, and Virginia wanted to play Weeks more today.
You're going to look here, miscommunication and protection with the left guard now. Silas Janzi has to move over there because of injury, and so you see him and the running back not able to sort those 2 players. You turn Weeks loose in the middle of that offense. And now we get that punt, 2:30 left, and 1 timeout after Virginia burns one there.
They think Weeks has a chance to be a special player here on the grounds. Pete Moore to punt from his own end zone.
I feel like we're going to need to catch our breath after this first half. It's been nonstop, and we've certainly highlighted both offenses.
Virginia called a timeout.
Yep, they'll have 1 left as they get ready to set up here for what could be the final drive of the first half. And 2:34, plenty of time for Brennan Armstrong. Again, a veteran quarterback in this spot too. Going to understand how to continue to work the clock.
Moore averages more than 45 yards a punt, second in the ACC, and he gets this one off. Fair catch called for and made by Kemp, but penalty markers back at the goal line. There was contact with the punter.
Roughing the kicker, number 33, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And that is a bonehead mistake for Virginia. Virginia Tech now gets the first down, roughing into the kicker, automatic first down.
Boneheaded play by Weeks, but also I don't like the call to go after the punt in this spot. Set up a return. You've got one of the best offenses in the country. There's no reason to risk this. Sure, getting a punt block and setting up with the short field's fine, but you had 2 minutes and 30 seconds with Brennan Armstrong at quarterback. I don't understand that call at all.
So Virginia Tech has it now from the 28-yard line. Blackshear is the running back, Burmeister at quarterback. The Hokies have all 3 timeouts. Burmeister backpedaling, chased, and runs out of bounds. Picks up 2.
And that's as good as a check down. We've talked so much about Connor Blumrick and what he brings to this offense. Braxton Burmeister is fast. There's no sneaky athleticism here. This is a guy that can flat out move on the perimeter. Which also, again, I think you can go back to one of those half rollout passes, try and get something going deep down the field by buying the defense's eyes up with the movement your quarterback can create.
Designed quarterback run. Burmeister able to move the chains to the 40-yard line, a gain of 10. A player that we have not seen much, if at all, today is Trey Turner, Virginia Tech's top wide receiver. He had the respiratory condition that forced him to drive to Miami last week. 13-hour round trip. He is declared for the draft. We expected to see quite a bit of him. We were told he was cleared to play and was a full go.
Accepted that Senior Bowl invite, a bright future in front of him. And
Tavion Robinson adjusting to the ball. And Tech to the 31, a gain of 26. Burmeister, 5 out of 7, 131 and a touchdown.
Now you got to get up to the line and have that next play ready to go. But just a great job in the slot, getting him matched up against Cohen King, the nickel in that defense. take a shot at the end zone here.
The freshman Malachi Thomas, he put together back-to-back 100-yard games last month against Syracuse and Georgia Tech as the Hokies call a timeout. 54 seconds to go. Tech still has 2 timeouts. And you score here, tie game. I know if you're on the Virginia sideline, you probably feel, hey, you should be up by a little more, but you had the interception at midfield. You had the roughing the kicker penalty to extend this drive. Virginia Tech probably wants a few things back. They got down to the 1-yard line and
going all the way back to the decision early in the game not to go for it on 4th and 2 in plus territory. There's plenty of spots, but regardless, you're right. You got a chance to either go into the half, down a score, or tie this ball game, depending on how this drive ends up.
J.C. Price told us he has to combat the emotions today, having played in this game as a player. He said, yeah, the coaches, the players all have to rein in the emotions, channel it out on the field. It's been a whirlwind 2 weeks for him. He called it hectic, surreal, bittersweet. Always wanted to be a head coach at his alma mater, but not like this and under these circumstances. Burmeister takes a shot downfield, a lot of contact, and no flag. Bratton was tied up with Robinson.
Stunned they didn't get the call there.
I'm stunned too.
That should have been pass interference, but Anish, I will say at this point, that's been consistent. There's been a lot of contact at the top of routes tonight, and so now if you're a player, it's your job to adjust. This is how they are going to call the game, and we're going to see it right at the top here.
That's pass interference. He's grabbing him.
100%, but we've seen close ones not called so far here.
Clear as day. They missed it. It's 3rd and 3. Burmeister, first down, dives across the 15. That'll momentarily stop the clock. Officials spot it. The clock starts. Burmeister to the sideline, caught by Smith. Incomplete though. He was out of bounds, could not hold on at the very end.
Chance to catch your breath right here. 2 timeouts still in your pocket, so the whole field open for business. And just a great rip by the defender on that play.
Anthony Johnson got the hand in there at the last minute.
We talked about no Trey Turner. So Tavion Robinson becomes even more valuable down here. Get your quarterback some motion before the play. Try and identify what's going on with the defense as we see him lined up at the bottom of this formation.
Lofted in motion. Burmeister looking to set up the screen. I think Thomas was the guy. Miscommunication. And it'll bring up a 3rd and 10. 29 seconds. 2 timeouts left for the Hokies.
Yeah, I think he just saw that screen covered down, didn't want to put that into a bad spot where maybe it gets tipped up, takes the safe play here and understands he's still got 3rd down to work through right here. Let's see if they go to this matchup. They've got Tavion Robinson on Cohen King in the slot at the top of this formation here, number 9 in white versus 9 in blue.
Thomas split wide. Burmeister stepping up and submerged for a loss. It's 4th down. And now Virginia Tech will likely try to run the clock down a little bit, call timeout, and kick the field goal. And the timeout comes with a second to go in this first half.
Second charge timeout. The timeout will be 30 seconds.
J.C. Price, the interim head coach, taking over after Justin Fuente was let go. Obviously the big offseason conversation piece for Virginia Tech. It's already started. Who's the next head coach? Whoever that is, they ought to keep J.C. Price on this staff. What he means to this program, what he means to that locker room now, and having some kind of bridge between old and new, he seems to be the ideal guy for that role.
There's nothing more comforting as a player than being able to stare at someone in a position of power on your staff who's been in the exact spot that you've been in, who's lived the day-to-day things that are unique to playing football at Virginia Tech.
Romo has made 10 in a row inside 42 from 32. The field goal is good. The last 3-4 years, they have played some wild ones for the Commonwealth Cup. A lot of excitement in that first half. Both teams probably feel, hey, we left a couple of opportunities on the board. It'll be Virginia taking a 4-point lead into halftime, and the Cavaliers get the second half kickoff.
So many little winning plays as you see J.C. Price addressing his group after that last drive, putting points on the board. This matters a lot to everyone involved here. We talked about the disappointment Virginia came into this with. Virginia Tech staring up at an interim head coach. It could be easy to give up if you're in either of these locker rooms, and we've seen nothing but fight so far today.
21-17 the score. Tech has done it with the ground game. 153 rushing in that first half. Virginia getting most of its offense through the air per usual. Down to Taylor.
Thanks, Anish. Coach, what adjustments need to be made to your rush defense?
Just simple assignments. There's 1 or 2 players not doing what they're supposed to do each play. It's that simple.
What will your message be to Brennan Armstrong at half?
Just continue what he's doing. He's doing a great job.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Anish?
All right, Taylor. Should be a fun finish in Charlottesville, Virginia. A 4-point lead on Virginia Tech at the break. We'll step aside. The studio will catch you up on all the highlights on the State Farm Halftime Report. Lights. You're watching ACC Network Football presented by Subway. About to start the third quarter in Charlottesville. Commonwealth Cup on the line. Virginia Tech has won 16 of the last 17, 20 of the last 22. Hokies trailing by 4 to UVA as we get ready for the start of the third quarter. Anish Shroff, Mike Golick Jr. What jumps out to you from what was quite an exciting first 30 minutes?
I think for all the talk about offense in this game, a couple of key plays from each defense, right? Goal line stand by Virginia, turnover by Virginia's Tech defense, giving just enough back, stealing a possession here and there for two offenses that have proved very dynamic so far.
Yeah, Virginia Tech mostly on the ground. Virginia has been able to do it in the air with Brennan Armstrong. Virginia to receive the third quarter kick. And they'll have it at the 25 after the fair catch.
Well, both these quarterbacks so far today, rock solid. Braxton Burmeister for Virginia Tech. We've seen the big plays in the passing game, but he was their leading rusher in the first half for an offense that's gone over 200 yards on the ground in 4 of their last 5. That big playability jumped off for Virginia Tech. And then Brennan Armstrong on the other side. His ability to move around, work against some of these blitzes from Virginia Tech. Been the story so far this game.
And he finds a wide open Darrington galloping down the sideline into Virginia Tech territory on the very first play of this third quarter, 35 yards. Armstrong has now passed for 270 yards, closing in on his 10th 300-yard game of the season.
They're like Skittles to him at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Darrington again As we check in with Taylor McGregor.
J.C. Price saying their coverage has got to tighten up. He felt like it was way too loose in the second half, especially when it comes to getting to the quarterback, Brennan Armstrong. Also want to note wide receiver Trey Turner. We haven't seen him, although this week they made it clear that they thought he was going to play. We talked to him yesterday. He said he was good, but for precautionary reasons, he is not playing today, as is quarterback Jermaine Waller, who's out with an ankle injury.
Henry wide open inside the 20. And those are significant losses for Virginia Tech. Waller, who didn't play well last week but was battling through an ankle, he's the best cornerback for Virginia Tech. Turner, their best wide receiver, and this could very well be his swan song. He is going pro after this season, and Virginia Tech, if they don't win, may not have another game.
Accepted that Senior Bowl invite. Jermaine Waller on the other side. J.C. Price, when we talked to him, said when he's right, he could be the best player on our team. Massive losses at the outside skill on both sides of the ball.
Armstrong out of the backfield, one-handed catch by Kemp, who's upended by Daly.
See big Jelani Woods coming back
Kemp
onto the
could
field.
not bring that in. Disappeared from our view along that near sideline. And he's a bit shaken up at the end of that play. 2nd and 10. Taulapapa off the left hip of Armstrong. Keaton Thompson in motion. He gets it on the fly sweep and takes it inside to about the 16-yard line. Sets up 3rd down.
This is the spot where we talked about how much they've moved Keontae Thompson around. Getting him all the way on the outside now. Try and get a matchup with a DB like they've got here. Armani Chapman matched up with a much bigger body here. Let's see if Brennan Armstrong can get that ball all the way out to that far side of the field.
Chapman has played a lot today in lieu of Waller. Armstrong, he's been dangerous with his feet today. Changing directions. Throws to the sideline. It's dropped. There is a flag down in the backfield. Barno may have gotten a late hit.
Personal foul, targeting defense number 11.
We saw, replay has to confirm all aspects of targeting. We saw Virginia with a roughing the kicker penalty to extend a Virginia Tech drive that resulted in a field goal. And now a targeting call against Barno. Replay will review. We step aside. The targeting call on Barno was reversed. We saw the replay. We'll show it to you. It was the right call. Armstrong was a defenseless player. But this was a clean hit. Didn't lead with the crown of the helmet. No indicator of targeting. A clean hit below the shoulders. And that was the call on the field. There was no roughing the passer, so it's 4th down. You take the penalty off. Virginia will try a field goal, and the kick is good by Farrell. That's a huge swing. Had targeting been upheld, it would have been a 1st down for Virginia, but the officials, a couple of times tonight, they've gotten the call right on replay review.
Well, and a huge swing because it also would have sent Amari Barno, who is arguably one of the best players on your defense, a Senior Bowl invite, a guy who had 16.5 tackles for loss last year. And you see, turns the shoulder, hits him in the body here, so it's not in the head or neck. And in real time, this is the mechanism working the right way. In real time, you can understand an official erring on the side of caution. They go to the review, and they not only keep Virginia in a spot where they've got a chance to kick a field goal, but also a great player in Amari Barno gets to keep on playing in this rivalry game.
24-17, and now Virginia Tech can tie it with a touchdown. The Hokies have never led in this game. Virginia looking to snap a 3-game losing streak. All the losses to ranked teams, BYU, Notre Dame, and Coastal champion Pitt. Virginia Tech needs a win to become bowl eligible. They've been through a lot. It's been well documented. Justin Fuente, their head coach, fired last week. J.C. Price, a Tech alum, taking over on an interim basis, looking to extend the season for this senior class. Here's King, averaging 24 yards a return. Bounces to the outside, flag down. A 38-yard return if it stands.
During the return, holding, receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Quarterback comparison, and you throw in Burmeister's rushing numbers. He accounted for 220 plus yards of total offense. He's been the guy. We saw a lot of Blumrick early. It's been Burmeister, though. This is going to be his game, it appears.
It's the right call.
Look at this hole. Blackshear. A pickup of 20 for Raheem Blackshear. 58 yards on 6 carries. Last week against Miami, he didn't get his first carry until less than 8 minutes to go in the game.
And you see the linebacker tracing back because of the threat of quarterback run, because you've got to respect what Braxton Burmeister does on the edge of an offense.
2 tight ends. Play action. Burmeister looking for Robinson. It's broken up. Nick Grant, the senior, went up to knock it away. Came into the game with 8 PBUs, 3rd in the ACC.
Just an outstanding play right there. You get matched up. Coming out of the backfield here, they're trying to set up the wheel route. And just a great job climbing the ladder to get up there. They've allowed them to be physical at the top of route, so he uses his hands there, climbs the receiver. That's a great play.
Those downfield shots on play action, that's where you really miss a Trey Turner.
Just unbelievable acrobatic catches that we've seen from him, like in the Miami game.
Another big hole. Blackshear down the sideline. One man to beat. He cuts it back. That slowed his momentum just a bit. He brings it to the 8-yard line. A 50-yard run. And Blackshear over the century mark.
Cannot say enough about the job this Virginia Tech offensive line is doing, having to shuffle bodies around. Some of your starters already out of this game. And again, we see when you can hold the whole backside of a defense with that run threat, you get better numbers in here. You're getting 4- and 5-man box counts. Fewer bodies for these guys to have to account for.
They changed the spot, so they'll back them up to about the 10-yard line. It'll bring up a 1st and goal for Virginia Tech. Blackshear stays in. Robinson in motion. They'll feed Blackshear again. Up the gut. Like a machete through this defense, a gain of 7.
And you're seeing Virginia right now struggling to communicate. They were looking over at the sideline looking for signals as we've got a Virginia player down near the new line of scrimmage.
It's West Weeks, the freshman. 2nd and goal, Virginia Tech, when we come back. Weeks is being helped on that Virginia sideline. Virginia Tech, meanwhile, knocking at the door. They've got the ball on the 3-yard line. 2nd and goal. And the Hokie rushing attack has run rampant here in Charlottesville.
I think that Braxton Burmeister big run early set the tone, because you've seen on this drive, linebackers respecting his run threat on that backside. This whole game, he's been able to hold young linebackers who are getting more run on this Virginia defense, who may not have their eyes in the right spot, who are worried about giving up that big play and allowing this offensive line to lean on the rest of that defense. 231 yards. They have now gone over 200 yards rushing in 5 of their last 6 games.
And really no surprise going up against what was statistically the worst run defense in the ACC in Virginia.
In their 3-game losing streak, allowing 267 yards rushing per game.
Let's see if they feed Blackshear one more time. Burmeister to throw, the fade, incomplete. Wanted to Tavion Robinson. 3rd and goal. We saw Virginia Tech earlier in this game. They got down inside the 5, turned it over on downs.
They did, and I actually think you should go back to something similar. You've got your quarterback potentially rolling towards his throwing arm here. Try and sneak a couple of guys on some drag routes backside, leak a tight end out, and allow your quarterback to be an athlete, have a two-way go on the perimeter where he can turn into the run threat we've seen all night.
The reverse, they'll throw, Robinson to Burmeister! J.C. Price into the bag of tricks, and Tech a PAT from tying this game.
J.C. Price told us he grew up an Eagles fan. His favorite player was Seth Joyner. That's why he wore 59. Clearly still watching a lot of Eagles football. This is Philly special.
This is Philly special.
Philly. Burmeister reprising the role of Nick Foles and didn't stare at that one for too long and think about dropping it here. Soft hands. What a great play call.
Romo for the tie. 24 all.
And you saw formationally, Anish. Did you see fired up J.C. Price?
Absolutely.
That's a D-line coach, coaching his alma mater. You had all those bodies to the right. You run the motion that way, and you get a Virginia defense that has been susceptible to getting their eyes in the wrong spot here. So you give them every reason to look right, sneak the quarterback out the backside.
Anish Shroff, Mike Golick Jr., Taylor McGregor down on the sidelines. What makes this week of college football so special, we're in the playoff era, and oftentimes the way the narrative spills out, if you don't get into the playoff, if you don't win your conference, the season doesn't matter. No, these games matter. Look at this crowd. Look at all the Hokie fans we saw in our hotel making the trip to Charlottesville. This rivalry matters. There's a point of pride. You got Auburn, Alabama. The Tigers can maybe take down the Tide, shake things up. We saw earlier today Ohio State and Michigan. Obviously, the stakes were much different in that game, but this weekend is about rivalries, and that's what makes college football special. That is part of the defining characteristic of the sport.
This was really at its core always a regional sport, right?
Sure.
Winning your division, winning the conference, these things are still allowed to matter. I think we at times all get caught up a little bit too much in who's in the top 4. We're allowed to drink in these moments here. And my God, if we've learned nothing from the last couple of years here, seeing what happened, seeing college football without fans last year, having the opportunity to participate in what these young men put on display. Be thankful for that enough.
Empty set, Hollins goes wide. Armstrong, quick release. There's Woods. Broken tackle. What else is new? And up to the 43-yard line, a pickup of 18 by Jelani Woods.
So if you're Virginia now, little off kilter here. Virginia Tech has battled back. You got to go back and feed the beast. Jelani Woods and Keaton Thompson are where this starts. You got to move 99 all around. There is a gravity to him. He is going to draw 2 sets of eyes almost every time he moves.
Brennan Armstrong now with his 10th 300-yard passing game of the season as Hollins gets dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Now, the way this game has moved, it feels like every empty possession could be a death knell.
It puts a premium on aggressive decision-making. We started this game off with a punt on 4th and short and plus territory. I don't think we'll see one of those again.
Armstrong over the middle. And a first down catch by Billy Kemp, 17. 5 catches, 61 yards for Kemp. Now, we were talking when we were watching film this week how Brennan Armstrong doesn't have the greatest arm, May not have the zip that a DJ Uiagalelei has on his passes, but it's where he puts it, allowing his receivers to make a play after they catch the ball.
It's very Joe Burrow-esque, and I know that's a lofty name to throw out, but Joe Burrow, not the strongest arm you've ever seen, but understands timing, angles, all the things that grow into being a great thrower of the football at every level, the way that Brennan Armstrong's been.
6th catch for Woods. A team that averages 390 passing yards per game, tops in the Power 5. They average close to 520 yards of total offense per game.
And now you've got Keontae Thompson and Dontavian Wicks bunched up together. Look for Thompson to clear out some room for 3.
Armstrong steps up. Can't get away! Alan Tisdale with his 2nd sack of the season.
Massive. Virginia Tech going back to the blitz as we see a player now, Tisdale.
Timeout.
And Armstrong limping as well. Tisdale is down on that far sideline.
Timeout was for a defense.
You know what that means? Commercial break. We're back after this.
Brennan Armstrong getting his left ankle taped. He was down in the huddle in between guys for quite some time, but he's back out there. They have backup quarterbacks warming up here on this sideline, so certainly something to keep our eyes on, guys.
Yeah, we saw both backups, Wolfuk and Armstead, with helmets right on the perimeter of that Virginia huddle until Armstrong was able to go. There's the blitz. Armstrong gets rid of it quickly. He's got Henry shy of the marker. It's 4th down. You're inside the Tech 40. And let's see what Virginia Tech, or rather Virginia, will do. They'll bring on the punter, Finn. First punt attempt of the game.
And I think that's almost a direct result of what just happened. Your quarterback, is he on a healthy ankle out there? I think you let Brennan Armstrong take this for a ride.
You always got to be careful with the fake. Finn sends it away. Into the end zone, touchback. Following our game here on ACC Network, we've got Syracuse and Pitt from the Carrier Dome. Pitt already locked up the ACC Coastal by beating Virginia last week. Syracuse needs a win to become bowl eligible. Dino Babers in his 6th season at Syracuse. You got Sean Tucker having an all-time season at running back for the Orange, and Kenny Pickett got the super soldier serum that Zach Wilson and Joe Burrow got before him. Boy, what a season he's had for Pitt.
I could say you say Brennan Armstrong as well, getting a little dose of that here. Marquee performances from some ACC quarterbacks this year. Throw Sam Howell into the mix as well.
Blackshear now with a career high in rushing yards. North of 120. Only 2 carries last week, as we said. A young man from Philadelphia. Began his career at Rutgers.
One of 4 running backs in the Power 5 with over 1,000 career rushing and 1,000 career receiving yards. A dynamic playmaker for them that's been eaten right down the center of this Virginia defense all day.
Fumble, but Robinson able to recover. It'll bring up 3rd and long, but Virginia Tech, more importantly, able to hold on.
Yes. No need to get too cute in these situations. You got a defense on the other side that's been letting you run it right up the middle here. Braxton Burmeister, got to be looking for Tavion Robinson. We haven't called his name in a while, all the way at the bottom of this formation.
Edge pressure, Burmeister sacked. Elliott Brown, his 2nd sack of the season. And now Virginia Tech has to punt.
Talked about one of the keys off the top for Virginia on defense. You got to change the picture and try and make something happen here. Watch them rotate. Cohen King back here. They give a cover 2 look right at the snap. They drop everyone out at the line of scrimmage. And so now Braxton Burmeister's got to adjust his eyes right as pressure from that opposite side is bearing down.
Great punt by Moore. Kemp chased back inside his 30. And a fair catch after a 48-yard kick. Taylor?
The message down here on the Virginia sideline has been stopping the run. Linebacker Kelly Popinka has said, stop the run on 1st and 2nd down, and then we can get after him on 3rd down. Pretty happy after what he just saw in that defensive series.
And a new quarterback here for Virginia. So Armstrong went down, was limping around, came back for the last offensive play of the previous drive. Instead, it's going to be Jay Wolfuk. He got the start against Notre Dame in the game that Virginia lost and only scored 3 points.
So now the game plan simplifies with your backup in the game.
And he'll give it to Taulapapa, who pushes through the pile up to the 35-yard line. A pickup of 8.
Identity has to shift now. That group, a largely senior-laden group up front in the line of scrimmage, has to put the game in their hands because all the bells and whistles, all the movement on offense is something you can do when Brennan Armstrong is back there to make you right.
Taylor, you told us before the game, when you talked to Brennan Armstrong, he knows, hey, it all runs through him offensively for Virginia.
The numbers say for themselves. They were averaging 40 points a game, roughly, when he was in the game. And without him against Notre Dame, they couldn't score a touchdown. And he said, I have to play well in order for us to win. An update on him, guys. He's in the tent right now. They completely took off his cleat on that left ankle. They're retaping it, but still remains in the tent. I will keep you posted on what I see down here on the sideline.
All right, so that is something that we will watch. There's the injury one more time again.
See him just twisted down there awkwardly. Looked like that ankle got caught in the ground for a second.
They're going to measure
10 seconds, please.
to see if Virginia picked up the first down.
And this is huge, Anish, the importance of staying on schedule here.
It'll be a first down for UVA. So you mentioned now things change for Virginia. Obviously, you lose the guy who has been central to your offensive prowess. You're Virginia Tech. Okay, Brennan Armstrong's out of the game. How does that change what Virginia Tech does defensively?
I want more 1st and 2nd down pressures because they're going to have to rely on getting them in favorable down and distances on the offense. I want to take them out of that. Send them run blitzes when they're not ready for it in these spots. Force him into obvious passing situations.
On first down, Jelani Woods. And let's see where they spot this. He pinballed off the initial defender, and a generous mark with forward progress to the 43-yard line, a gain of 6. Jay Wolfuk this season, most of his work came in the start against Notre Dame. 18 out of 33, 196 yards, 2 interceptions, and he was sacked 7 times. He's a baseball player as well. Came to Virginia as a 2-sport star. He'll run. He's got the first down and then some. Into Tech territory inside the 45. 13 on the play.
Great recognition. We've seen pressure on back-to-back plays now. And that's as good as a check down here. This whole game is about calculated risk for Virginia. You want to minimize that in these spots here, putting the ball in the air too much. You're going to see him feed the tight ends here. Keontae Thompson in the slot right here.
Virginia will empty it out. Sideline throw, Kemp. Catch, turn. And he picks up about 9. And Brennan Armstrong, to a rousing applause, comes in off the bench.
However this turns out, give a lot of credit to Jay Wolfuk for being composed in limited snaps there. It's not an easy situation to walk into.
Timestamp this at about the 2:28 mark, 3rd quarter. Armstrong re-enters, and now he goes wide. And Keaton Thompson will take the snap. It's a direct snap. Pitch to Armstrong, back to Thompson. Broken tackle. He's got blockers upfield. Thompson lost the football, and Virginia Tech covers it up. Norrell Pollard, the sophomore out of Apopka, Florida, recovers the fumble on a wild play.
So we see the broken tackle on the perimeter. Murray misses on Thompson, but then you see trying to strain, trying to get over the top, and what a great swipe at the ball by Norrell Pollard, who, if you remember, was the guy that caused the fumble for a pick six that Taiwan Garbutt returned for a touchdown. I believe it was in the Duke game earlier this season.
Personal foul, face mask number 26 of the defense. Penalty half the distance to the goal. The defense will keep the ball, first down.
The penalty is on Stroman, but Virginia Tech has the football. And with 1:55 to go in this third quarter, a chance for the Hokies to take their first lead of the night.
Just an outstanding job going out there and making a play, and that's what you're always taught as a defensive player. Norrell Pollard was hustling back down the field. He's a defensive tackle by trade, but he saw, all right, Keaton Thompson stood up. I'm the second or third guy in. Go right at that ball as he's in the middle of that scrum here. Makes yet another turnover-worthy play. Gets on top of it to seal the deal here. And now for Virginia Tech, you got a chance to go back to this ground and pound running game right here and really deflate this Virginia crowd.
Running Raheem Blackshear up the middle has worked out today. 9 carries, 122 yards. Virginia's had no answer. And it's Blackshear. Tumbles across the 10 to the 12.
What a wild swing. Brennan Armstrong comes back into the hero's welcome, the trick play to the turnover. Virginia Tech got a golden opportunity. They got in trouble on that last drive, trying to do a little bit too much. Shift in motion, eye candy here. You have been beating them, like you said, right down State Street. I expect the play calling on this drive to reflect that.
Blackshear one more time. And if you were Virginia Tech, you take that. That's 5 more, third and short.
And it's been a while since we've had and seen Braxton Burmeister's number called on one of these runs. All this attention now rightly played to Blackshear is going to soften that edge, and at some point we're going to see 3 and white keep the football again.
Blackshear gets a breather. Malachi Thomas, the freshman, enters. Here's the blitz. Burmeister. He'll run for it. He's got the 20. And a first down for Virginia Tech. There's the quarterback run.
And just remarkable composure in the pocket. Understands and trusts his speed. Stays in there long enough, and watch what he's able to do for the offensive lineman on the outside there. Number 55, Johnny Jordan, blocking a guy who all of a sudden peeks inside as Burmeister steps up, and then he's fast enough to make him pay on the edge.
And now it's Burmeister who gets a spell. Blumerick enters. Only 10 seconds to go in this third quarter. Maybe giving that Virginia sideline a little something to think about as we go into the final stanza.
Let your quarterback go over, talk it over on the sideline, and now all of a sudden, heading into the fourth quarter, Bronco Mendenhall and company got to think about a little bit more.
Virginia Tech playing for a chance at bowl eligibility. Virginia's lost 16 of the last 17 to their rival. We've got a tie game through 3. Commonwealth Cup clash. Tied at 24. Virginia Tech with the football to begin this fourth quarter. Burmeister, the quarterback, handoff to Blackshear. Cuts through the middle to the 31, a gain of 4. Look at our game summary. Now the Bees, Burmeister and Blackshear, have both been a force on the ground, both north of 100 yards. Armstrong, another 300-yard passing day, but a couple of turnovers have really kneecapped Virginia in this game.
And Brennan Armstrong now dealing with that ankle injury.
Burmeister will run. Breaks loose. Blunt tripped him up, saving perhaps another big run by Burmeister. 17 on the play, nonetheless.
And you keep moving the chains now. We just mentioned, by the way, Brennan Armstrong sitting on the sideline. That ankle's getting cold. That's your worst nightmare now, a long drive here. If you're a guy on an ankle like that, you want to keep moving. You don't want time for that to swell up and to get cold. That's the battle they're going to fight on the Virginia sideline as Virginia Tech goes out here and chews up clock with an offense that's run well.
Virginia Tech, 270 on the ground today. Malachi Thomas. And he's to midfield. Taylor?
I asked offensive lineman Luke Tenuta to describe each of his quarterbacks this week, and he said Braxton Burmeister is the fastest guy on our team, and you've certainly seen that on display here this evening.
Now, we saw in the Notre Dame game, he can rip one off.
He's a remarkable rusher. I thought for all the talk about Blumrick coming into this, as we see number 4, Connor Blumrick now come into the game, Burmeister a much faster weapon to use, stressing the edge of the defense.
Lofton was the motion man. Blumrick will keep it. Flag down.
A lot of moving parts on this last play. And this is, again, the difficult spot for me and Ish, because as soon as Virginia sees Blumrick come into the game, you know there's no more threat of a pass. We saw the one attempt we'll probably see from him this game down in the goal line, and he was caught between worlds. I think it just makes it too easy for them to key in.
Now, Miami knew that last week, too. And Blumrick ran all over them.
Motion, offense number 9. That penalty will be declined. 3rd down.
But different context. Miami had a big lead, and it seemed at that point, okay, Virginia Tech's going to run the ball. Sure.
Also, wet, sloppy track in that game. A lot of rain is a factor there, trying to minimize risk again.
And Burmeister comes back in. 3rd down. Do you like that penalty decline there? Say, hey, give us 3rd and long instead of 2nd and 8.
Honestly, not for Virginia's defense and the way they've struggled to stop much of anything today here.
Or 3rd and 8 instead of 2nd and long, I should say. We'll have another conference. So you would not have declined that penalty?
No, I think yardage-wise, you need them in as uncomfortable a spot as you can possibly get here. This is a run-first offense here. If you're Virginia, your best hope on defense is taking the ball away, forcing them to pass.
2 fouls on the play, 1 on each team. Offside, defense, illegal motion on the offense. Those penalties will offset, will replay 2nd down.
Well, that changes the equation a little bit now.
I was going to say, well, now it's all a moot point.
Burmeister looking to the sideline. He'll stay in, it appears. Virginia Tech today without its best receiver, Trey Turner. A banged-up offensive line. Their top cornerback's been out. Needing a win to become bowl eligible. They feed Blackshear. And another big run for Raheem Blackshear. 3rd and short. All right, from here, 4-down territory.
Oh, easy decision. You got 2 downs to get 1, and they're going to go tempo, run the same play.
Blackshear, stiff arm, 1st down, still going. Finally taken down by Blunt. 16 more for Raheem Blackshear, up to 156 on the ground.
And I love the mixed tempo right there. You got a successful play, you know it's 4-down territory, so you can take that risk as Connor Blumrick coming into the game yet again for Virginia Tech.
Now you just pound away at a defense that has not been able to consistently stop the run all game. There's quarterback power, Blumrick.
We just talked about how obvious it gets with Connor Blumrick in the game. If you want to leave him in here, this is a perfect area of the field. They've got a sort of pop pass where you'd fake one of those quarterback sweeps, have him get up into the line to get the defense's eyes sucked down into here, and then you get someone running scot-free behind. I think this is the perfect area of the field, and we have not seen him again attempt to pass since that 4th and goal fail.
Blackshear on the sidelines. Thomas is the running back. Blumrick up the gut. And he's to the 20-yard line, 3rd and 1. Virginia Tech, 302 rushing yards, a season high. The last 5 games, they have been running the ball with confidence and proficiency, and we've seen that today. Virginia, it's been a problem all season to stop the run.
And it doesn't matter the scheme. We've seen a lot of power now that Burmeister's in zone.
th play of the drive. They didn't get there. 4th down. Now a decision. You've got a pretty good kicker. It's a tie game, and it looks like they will bring on the field goal unit to take the lead.
If Brennan Armstrong is fully healthy, I'm saying you go for it here because 3 points aren't going to win you the game. Now that you've introduced that doubt on the other side, I can understand getting points out of this drive.
You would go for it even with 10 minutes to go?
I think so. Yep. Again, we knew what this game was, and it has been for a lion's share of the time.
Romo's kick is up and good. Romo good from 38. And Virginia Tech leads for the first time tonight. Now that's a look right there. Tonight's Aflac trivia question. It's this. 4 new ACC college football coaches were hired in 2016. Who were they?
Was one of them Virginia Guy Fieri right here?
It's quite the get-up. I want to see Jordan Cornette pull that off. JC.
Y'all got me thinking about that Aflac question. I think I got it, though. How about a Fansville studio update from Dr. Pepper? Filling y'all in, Wake Forest clinches the Atlantic Division. They will take on Pitt in the ACC champ game. We're going to see them down in Charlotte. So, Anish, Gojo, kicking it back to you. Who do you like for the chip?
I'm going to go with Pitt and Kenny Pickett, but hang on. He called you Gojo.
Which always never makes sense to me. It's Golick Jr. Why doesn't anyone call him Joe Coe? Jordan Cornette.
Talapapa gets the call on first down. All right, so to that trivia question, I'm pretty sure one of the coaches is in the studio with Joe Coe, Jordan Cornette. One is on the sideline today, and one, if this game was played 2 weeks ago, would have been on the other sideline.
Is the other coaching at your alma mater?
That one is dropped by Wicks to bring up third down. So here's the answer. Bronco Mendenhall, Justin Fuente, Dino Babers, and Mark Richt. And you go back to 2016 at the time, Fuente was seen as the home run hire. Mendenhall was the wild card.
It just shows you how volatile it is, how many things go into a successful tenure, expectations, the support you get, all the above.
Armstrong, flat-footed throw, incomplete. He doesn't look completely right. Daly almost had his second pick.
You wonder if being able to plant, the difficulty from here on out, those errant passes, Virginia Tech's already forced a pair of turnovers. Don't want to put the ball in harm's way again.
You look at the records of those four coaches as Finn punts it away. Fair catch called for and made inside the 25. Mark Richt, our colleague now with the best winning percentage of that group. Virginia Tech obviously has big shoes to fill. Who's the next head coach at Virginia Tech? Mike Golic Jr. will give you his list when we come back.
ACC Network College Football is presented by the Eat Fresh, Refresh at Subway.
Anish Shroff, Mike Golic Jr., Taylor McGregor with you. Virginia Tech with the lead and the ball. 8:49 to go. Okay, before we went to break, we teased it. Who should be the next head coach for Tech? Whit Babcock, the AD at Tech, has his list. Who's on your list?
Yeah, I think take a look at some of the prime candidates around college football right now. You start first and foremost, the job Jamie Chadwell has done at Coastal Carolina, an innovative offensive scheme.
Blackshear to the 30.
I think you look at him, and in the group of five, Billy Napier, the job he's done at Louisiana there, Alabama ties, someone who has been linked to that Nick Saban program. And then I went defense. I think Virginia Tech, I think the defensive side of the football, Marcus Freeman and Mike Elko, two of the premier coordinators, great recruiters. Elko knows the area, his time with Clawson's staff.
I'll add one more name to that list as we get a flag. And it's going to be against Virginia Tech. Blumrick in at quarterback.
Offense number 89. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Dulius, the tight end. What about a Mike Houston? Head coaching experience, national championship in the state with James Madison, and a very successful season this year at ECU. Does he move the needle for you?
I think so, absolutely. And the success we've seen. James Madison, their rise as a program, had a chance to cover them last year. I think absolutely has to be considered.
Blumrick bounces to the outside. And he is to the 33, 34. He's going to be close. And this is going to be, it appears, enough for a first down. Blunt, the Virginia safety, is down. Will step aside. 7:42 to go. Tech says they've got a first down. 103rd meeting all time between Virginia Tech and Virginia. The Hokies have won 20 of the last 22, 16 of the last 17, and they have made no secret about their MO in this second half. All of their yards have been gained on the ground. They got a first down on that last play before the injury timeout. Blackshear got a couple. 163 yards for Raheem Blackshear. 125 of those in the second half. Only a handful of pass attempts since halftime for Virginia Tech. And essentially, their message is, we're going to run it. You know we're going to run it. And there's nothing you can do about it.
And they're also treating this like 4-minute offense right now. Using all of the play clock here. Burmeister going to the sideline to get the play between every down. Trying to take the air out of every bit of this fourth quarter.
Burmeister Has Smith open in the flat. Turns upfield. First down to the 45-yard line. And another Virginia player is down.
Timeout for a player injury.
.6:31 to go in regulation. We'll take a timeout. Anish Shroff, Mike Golick Jr., Taylor McGregor, a lot to sort through on that last play. The booth has initiated a targeting call on Josh Ahern. He was the Virginia player down after the last play. Caleb Smith, the wide receiver for Virginia Tech, was shaken up as well. They're looking at targeting. So in that scenario, Smith is not a defenseless player. He is a ball carrier. But look at Ahern. He leads with the crown of the helmet. There is an indicator with that launch, and he makes forcible contact. If you lead with the crown of the helmet, it doesn't matter where you hit the ball carrier. And you go back to why the rule was put in. The good news here is at least Ahern was able to walk off the field with a little bit of help after he was down for a while. But that rule is in place to protect the defensive player as much as it is to protect the offensive player.
Yeah, day one football is see what you hit. This is a scary play, and like we said, first and foremost, glad to see the young man walk off the field under his own power, because once you dip your head like that...
Further review, there was targeting on the play by number 28 on the defense. Number 28 will be disqualified. The targeting was with the crown of the helmet. So it's a 15-yard penalty and a first down.
And meanwhile, for Virginia Tech, you saw Caleb Smith. They're working on him over on that Tech sideline. This is already a thin wide receiver group. No Trey Turner today. Held out due to precautionary reasons. Smith also one of their better perimeter blockers.
Yeah, and you mentioned it before that last play. Those were the first passing yards of the second half for Virginia Tech. And so it puts the onus, once again, on that group up front offensively. And you see Braxton Burmeister addressing that huddle right now. I'm sure that's the message. We got 6 minutes and 13 seconds left and a chance to end this game on our terms against the defense that we know on the other side has struggled all night, all season against the run.
Gallo, the tight end, motions. Burmeister fakes the pass. Nothing there. And he lost a couple. That'll go down as the fourth sack for Virginia.
And I'm a little surprised that now is when you start to turn to the passing game with those limited options, and certainly looking to keep everything short right there. Thought it would be a shot play if they were going to go for anything.
On the blitz, it's Blackshear back to the original line of scrimmage. And it brings up a critical third down as we come up on 5 minutes to play. Virginia Tech nursing a 3-point lead. Lofton in motion. Burmeister to the air. Hit as he throws it downfield. It's picked off by Johnson. Did he stay in bounds? He did not. So fourth down now for Virginia Tech from the UVA 39, and Moore will come on to punt.
Ball's just got to come out sooner here, and you see well out of bounds with the interception attempt. They tried to set up the wheel down the sideline, and there was a window for Lofton there. Burmeister just didn't get that ball out fast enough.
Here's a spot where punt probably makes more sense. Virginia only 3 points in the second half. Fair catch called for. Made by Kemp. at the 7-yard line, a 32-yard punt. Both quarterbacks playing through pain. Burmeister's been banged up all season. Armstrong hurt his ribs against BYU, missed the Notre Dame game. Was limping earlier after a hit today. He's got a chance, though, here with 4:18 left.
We've seen physicality as a part of his night, but then tackled awkwardly here. Comes back in the first play after injury with the trick play to Keaton Thompson, where we saw the turnover, now a drive, and a chance to get his team back on top.
Against 4-man pressure. Armstrong. Broken up! Jamari Connor. He's got 4 career picks. And boy, did he come close.
We talked about the discomfort for him in the pocket right now, Anish. The last drive ended on a throw that sailed on him a little bit. This time the ball's behind Jelani Woods.
And if you're Virginia Tech, do you even have to honor quarterback run anymore?
No, and you're trying to send bodies at him, make him plant and move uncomfortably on that hurt ankle.
Now they'll bring a little pressure. Armstrong to the sideline, broken up. Dorian Strong. Now there's a proud tradition of defensive backs at Virginia Tech. Connor and Strong making big plays here on this Virginia drive.
And remember, we talked about Dorian Strong on the very first touchdown, not going after the tackle on Jelani Woods. He has responded really well in the rest of this game.
3rd down. Virginia started 4 for 4 on 3rd down. Armstrong on the slant. He's got Kemp to the 15. It'll bring up 4th and 3. Nobody moving on that Virginia sideline.
You've seen the way this game has gone. I think you got to go for it here, Anish. They've been taking the air out of the ball, running it down your throat on the other side. You could risk not getting the ball back if you don't try and go for this first down here.
Keaton Thompson, number 99, checks into the game. You would expect him to figure on this play.
Absolutely. Billy Kemp, number 4, one of their other sure-handed receivers, just limped off. Circle 99 in blue.
4-man rush. Armstrong pumps. Running. Lost the football into the end zone. It's rolling. Who's got it? Virginia recovered. Virginia Tech with the stop in the end zone. It goes as a safety. It's 29-24. And now a decision for Virginia. Do you onside kick it with 3:17 left?
I think you got to. The way that this game has been going, much like that 4th down gamble, that's just been an incredible job defensively by Tech.
What is it about this series the last few years and the ball rolling into the end zone or a play made into the end zone
to seal the game in 2019? But right here, Anish, you mentioned it. Brennan Armstrong with an ankle functioning properly, able to get out of that. We've seen him work so much magic tonight. There, stumbles under his own accord there.
Rolling on the field was a fumble, recovered in the end zone by the
Everybody's
offense,
beat up at this point in the
safety.
season, but this game turned really on Brennan Armstrong's ankle.
And we knew that coming into it. We talked about this off the very top. As they're taking a look right now at the location of the ball on the recovery here.
Now you see the call, safety. That was the call on the field. Indisputable video evidence needed to overturn the call. Now, where is possession established? Clearly. And when you're going backwards, the entire ball has to be over the goal line.
Yep, going towards the end zone, the nose just has to break the plane of the goal line. But we saw the ball clearly in the end zone there. Got to come all the way out.
Now, for Virginia, that may end up being a better outcome than not getting it on 4th down, because then if you give up a touchdown, that's a 2-score game. The ball's over. It's still a 1-score game. And you still have a chance to get the ball back with an onside kick if successful.
And again, I think that's going to have to be the move. I can't trust the defense right now. If you're Virginia, you haven't seen anything over the course of this game, really over the last 3 games, that can give you the confidence they can get you a stop.
Tech has run for 319 yards, and in this second half, they have run at will.
It's been both quarterbacks that we've seen. Take a look one more time. That ball comes out.
And again, the entire ball has to be possessed once that ball crosses the goal line. So if you're going in for a touchdown, you just need the nose of the ball. Now, where is possession established? And yeah, that's the question.
And that's going to be the tough part to see when it's ruled already a safety on the field underneath that scrum of bodies. Say this, if nothing else, you saw incredible effort plays there. Grant Mish coming over the top to try and peel a Virginia Tech player off. Bobby Haskins the one scrambling for it there.
This has been fun. It's been a back and forth game. Virginia early on seemed unstoppable on offense, and then Virginia Tech again used some turnovers. The Brennan Armstrong injury was a factor.
The ruling of a safety on the field stands.
No surprise there given the call on the field. And then the last component here is Virginia Tech's rushing game. They probed Virginia's biggest weakness, stopping the run, and they exploited it.
And we knew that was going to be the case, but it's looked so different, Anish. So even if you are Virginia on defense, you've had to prepare for both quarterbacks because of what you saw in the last game. And we know when Blumrick comes in, a lot more pullers, a lot more power offense versus Burmeister, who runs a little more of that read option, the zone plays that we've seen Blackshear be so successful on.
So Dunkel's been handling the kickoffs today. Farrell will come on for the kick. The ball has to travel at least 10 yards. The kicking team cannot block the receiving team until the ball goes 10 yards. It goes 10, it's recovered, and guess who? Trey Turner off the bench on the hands team. Right place, right time, and what's his final regular season game as a Hokie?
We saw him, and we know, being held out of the game for precautionary reasons, dealing with injury. He was over on the sideline, still into this game, hyping up the crowd, going over to the Virginia Tech faithful in the corner here. And then to come off cold and have your number called in a high-pressure situation like that, that's leadership.
So the Hokies have it at the 38-yard line. Virginia's got all 3 timeouts, and if UVA can get a stop or even hold Virginia Tech to a field goal, you give your offense one more chance.
Absolutely, it's got to be selling out here. Everyone knows what's happening. These are obvious situations.
Blackshear torpedoes across the 35. Timeout, Virginia. Game refresh brought to you by Subway. It's been the Hokie running attack.
And we mentioned this off the top of the night as we see Braxton Burmeister heading to the second level. His big play really kick-started the party here, and it's been the Raheem Blackshear show the entire rest of this game here. Everyone working here. Their offensive line beat up coming into this game, lost a couple of starters and had to move guys around here. But the unit that's been out there has had 5 guys seeing everything through one set of eyes, and they have exploited the advantage they knew they had coming in.
Blackshear and Burmeister, the B team. Throw Blumrick in there as well. 30 for 284.
Career highs for both, 9.5 yards a carry. As we get into this critical spot right now, you saw a long 3 gained on first down. They have thrived in these spots here.
And Blumrick now in at quarterback. Fakes the pitch. Lost the football! Virginia says they have it. It's UVA football.
Anish, his own guy, caused the fumble. Watch here when we get the replay. Number 86, Nick Gallo, who's been a great blocker for them all night, is going to be on the perimeter of this defense. And he is going to get hit back right into him and knock the ball out of Blumrich's hands. It was 86 in white coming back towards it, whose own arm hits the ball out there. It was a great play by Nick Grant, forcing him to spin back.
Olasunkanmi Ogunleye with the recovered fumble. The door's ajar for Virginia with 3:05 to go. Cavs have 2 timeouts. Armstrong looking for Thompson, and Daly was there to break that up again. Now, Brennan Armstrong is not right. This isn't the Brennan Armstrong we saw in the first half, battling an ankle injury. Remember, just 2 games ago, he didn't play because of a rib injury.
You need a double move or something right now. Everyone on Virginia Tech's breaking on the ball. Everything that comes out is downhill defenders. You've got to scare them with something over the top.
Armstrong looking for Henry. Incomplete. Connor got in there. It brings up 3rd and 10.
Connor just making a read play right there. He's watching the eyes of the quarterback, who is battling right now. You know Brennan Armstrong is not 100%. Wants to get out here, and now on 3rd down again.
Blitz. Armstrong, sideline. He's got Kemp. Midfield. And Billy Kemp down to the 40-yard line, a gain of 24.
Billy Kemp, who, remember on the previous drive when we saw Brennan Armstrong sacked to the strip sack, had to go off field on that critical down. He's a big, very critical set of hands for this offense. Go right back to him in that situation with him on the field.
8 catches, 101 yards for Kemp. Tech showing pressure. They'll bring it. Armstrong looking for Henry, and a flag down.
Pass interference, defense, number 26. The penalty is an automatic first down, spot of the foul.
Jalen Stroman.
And I think they might have got this number wrong. I thought this was on Dorian Strong here, just pulling on the hip at the 44. Top of the route.
Ten penalties on Tech. Armstrong's got time. Over the middle. It's complete. Keaton Thompson. 18 more. I think the NC State game last night taught us something. Yeah, don't turn off too quickly. Designed quarterback run. Bad ankle and all. Armstrong inside the 10.
The guts on this kid. And to know as a coordinator that you can call that. As yet another record here, the UVA passing yards record versus Virginia Tech. As we get a timeout now on the field.
Timeout. Virginia Tech.
404 yards passing today for Brennan Armstrong.
Please reset the game
So
clock.
this season, he now has 10 300-yard games. This is his 6th 400-yard game, 4th in a row. We've talked about it. It's been the year of the quarterback in the ACC, from Malik Cunningham to Sam Howell and Hartman and Pickett and Armstrong. What a crop, and right now we're watching a young man will this team down the stretch after that turnover.
It's been such an exciting performance for both of these guys, but for Brennan Armstrong specifically here, we saw how it affected him on that last drive. He has now put that threat back into the defense's mind that, all right, I can take off and run if need be in this situation. And that's one more thing the Hokies now have to prepare for as we're inside the 10.
Virginia can still get a first down. 2nd and 8. Ball at the 9. Armstrong. Incomplete, broken up. That was Barno. I tell you what, these Virginia Tech DBs, and Barno that time kind of plays that hybrid position. They have been getting physical with these Virginia receivers. Nothing has come easy in the passing game.
No, the passing game has been so low and slow since Brennan Armstrong's injury. Clearly, a discomfort pushing it downfield. It's allowed them to play aggressive. It's why I think there's still a double move opportunity somewhere in here with a Brennan Armstrong pump fake.
2 timeouts still left. The throwback to the lineman. And that goes nowhere. Strong blew it up. Well, they went to Bobby Haskins, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
Anish, I would almost never have a problem with throwing the ball to an offensive lineman. The potential for a thick 6 put in this spot, in this time and place, I really struggle to see why you wouldn't be putting the ball into the hands of Jelani Woods, into Keaton Thompson.
The field shrinks. It's 4th and 13 from the 14. Essentially a goal-to-go type scenario.
And you've got big bodies on this left side here. Jelani Woods at the point, as we're going to get a timeout.
Timeout. Virginia Tech. 2nd.
Virginia Tech
timeout.
calls the timeout to talk it over defensively.
Please reset the game clock for 35 seconds, please.
Now that is a backward pass, right? So technically, that was the play for Haskins to throw it back to Armstrong or to throw it downfield?
It could have been potentially, I believe, at the start of the formation, too. You already had 4 in the backfield, so you had to get him behind the line of scrimmage. Or else
but everybody else who was a target was on the other side of the field.
Yeah, I think that was a design throwback for him, but again, it's got to go backwards since he wouldn't have been eligible at the start of that play, being one of the guys on the line of scrimmage.
What's the call?
I think, again, 99 Keaton Thompson. You had him and Jelani on the same side. I think you motion him and try and get a look at what the defense is giving you.
Empty. Armstrong looking for 6. It's tipped and complete. Intended for Henry, and it's Daly who broke it up. Tay Daly has been all over in this second half.
And this Virginia Tech sideline. What a response to sudden change. Holding them scoreless in the 4th quarter here. Only 3 points in the entire second half. Coming off of a turnover by your offense. And again, we talked about it with Armstrong. Uncharacteristically inaccurate throwing on that banged up ankle. And now, the sweetest formation in all of football. 2 tight diamond, victory kneel.
You can only imagine what this must mean for J.C. Price. He's going to have one more game to coach at Virginia Tech as the head coach. We made the case earlier. Whoever the next coach is for the Hokies should keep that man on their staff.
Timeout. Be 30
We had a
seconds.
chance to talk to players.
Timeout.
And the response when you brought his name up. What he's done already in the couple of weeks here, bringing them around campus, showing them things that they didn't even know about Virginia Tech because of that unique perspective, because this is a place that matters to him. It's just something special, Anish. You can't describe it when you've put your blood, sweat, and tears in here as a player. When you've had someone like Frank Beamer, who you've looked up to, you've idolized, now offering you help as a mentor here, to go out and put a performance like this on display against your biggest rival, remarkable.
Virginia Tech has dominated this series for 2 decades. They were the underdog today, but they get J.C. Price, his first win as a head coach. They knock off their rival, and the Hokies are going to go bowling once again. They've now won 21 of the last 23 against UVA, 17 of the last 18, and the Hokie faithful making their way onto the Scott Stadium field. Down to Taylor.
Thanks, Anish. Coach, describe what you're feeling right now.
No words. These guys have fought their butts off all year against all the odds. And we never splintered. We stayed together. We had some tough losses. We had some tough situations. They found a way today. I'm so proud. I'm so proud to be their coach.
You seem to be getting a little emotional. Why?
It's my school. This is home. That's it.
If somebody would have told you 2 weeks ago that you would be the head coach of this program, you would knock off your rival and you'd be going bowling, what would you have told them?
I don't believe you. Pinch me. Pinch me. I don't want to wake up. I love these guys.
Your defense able to get it done in the end. Those are the guys you've coached all year long. Describe what you saw out of them.
There's so many times earlier in the year we came up short. I mean, all your hat goes off to our kids. Our kids battled and they played hard. They didn't give up. It wasn't a call. It wasn't anything special. Those guys decided not to lose the game, and they just made their minds up.
Congratulations, Coach. Thanks so much. Go celebrate it. Anish?
Now look at the scene in Charlottesville. The Tech faithful have taken over. They have flooded this field. They get the win to go bowling. J.C. Price was emotional with us when we talked to him yesterday. He played in this game. He told us the emotions would be as hard for him as it would be for the players. Being the head coach at his alma mater was a dream, but he didn't want it like this with his boss getting fired. He called the last few weeks hectic, surreal, bittersweet. Said he didn't get a lot of sleep. He should sleep soundly tonight. He gets Virginia Tech to 6 wins after not going to a bowl last year. The Hokies bowl eligible. He'll get to coach one more game with this group. And again, when you have coaching changes, which have been so common in college football these days, and so many big-time openings out there, sometimes we don't realize the residual effect on the locker room, on the people who are still there. We saw a team today that had so much fight, and they showed it in the second half, holding down one of the best offenses in college football.
It was a remarkably gritty performance from that team, and like you said, it starts from the top down. J.C. Price said to us, "This place has given me everything." Got married to his wife on Virginia Tech's campus in the middle of the spring football game, and has come back here and now been able to repay that debt of gratitude with a big-time win on the road in the rivalry game that helps define this school.
The place that gave him everything. Today, he gave them a win they'll remember for a long time. Virginia Tech into Charlottesville, knocking off UVA. The Commonwealth Cup remains in Blacksburg. Tech wins it by 5. Coming up next.